Good morning, good morning, good morning from Los Angeles in America. This is the movie capital of America. Hollywood, Universal Studios, Warner Brothers, a whole range of other things. Today, my webinar is focusing on business strategies to becoming a successful spiritual entrepreneur. And I am also looking at starting up a business club in the third week of February so that I can share some of the business strategies that will help you make your spiritual business much more successful. And of course, to start off with, let me give you some kind of a background in terms of who I am, what I do, what I've done in my past. I am married to a lovely Russian lady, and we are based partly in St. Petersburg in Russia. We travel the world. We do a lot of work in a spiritual business. The modality that we focus on at the moment is a modality called theta healing. We host the representative or the representatives from different countries with their elective classes and some other people in Russia. We host the founder of theta healing in Russia. So we do a lot of events where we get people to come out to Russia and deliver seminars or training courses and do some presentations. Now, business strategies is a thing that I really, really enjoy. My background comes from information technology. It comes from working in South Africa and in the UK, where I looked at what we would call business process reengineering. And what that is taking a business, having a look at what they do and trying to make it better, trying to make it more profitable, trying to make it work in a much better way. I'm pretty sure that you might have seen or heard of things like Expert Academy or some of the other systems that they have out there where you go in and you learn everything about a business, how to market the business, how to employ the strategies to get your products created, maybe how to get various bits and pieces of your business together so that your background, organizational skills, your operations and everything works to promote and to make your business more successful. But the reason why I decided to do this was that I haven't found anything which is specifically geared towards the spiritual person. I haven't found anything online or out there in terms of live events where they teach spiritual people how to become better, how to become more successful. There's a lot of techniques and a lot of the things that they do that we can employ, that we can use. One of the main things that they look at is they look at selling through fear, and I don't necessarily agree with selling through fear. The way that I like to do things is through positive actions, is through positive things. And that's why I focused on business strategies to becoming a successful spiritual entrepreneur. That's why I want to start up the business club, because it's going to help people promote their businesses in a more positive way. Let's just take, for example, speaking. Let's have a look at how you can speak in front of a crowd or do an online webinar. Now, I'm pretty sure if you close your eyes very quickly and you just imagine you are standing in front of an audience of 1,000 people, and you're standing up on the stage and you have to deliver a message, I'm pretty sure the nerves are going to come through. And I'm pretty sure that you are going to feel a little bit nervous. You might have a few doubts. You might have a few things which you don't really want to do on stage, but you got to do it, because if you want to get your message across, you have to be able to get through to the people in the audience. In my work in South Africa and also in London, I had a look at a range of different ways in terms of how to speak and how to present your information and get your strategies through so that your business functions properly. But one of the things that I wanted to share with you was I looked at some of the psychology behind some of the business strategies. And we did some investigation into, for example, a video store. Now, a video store would purchase a video for, let's say, 300 US dollars or 300 pounds, and then they would rent out the video at 15 or 20 US dollars or pounds or whatever it was at that stage. And we're talking about 20 years ago, so videos were quite expensive then. I know that you can purchase a CD or a video now for probably about $10 or $15. But if you look at the cost to purchase that video and the amount of rentals that you had to do, One of the strategies that a video store would employ would be to take the videos and that would be to put them on the top shelf or the bottom shelf. And in doing so, the customer's psychology, or the way that customers would buy those products, would be look at the top shelf, look at the bottom shelf, and rent those videos. So of course, the software that they employed was to analyze when the videos had made the money back, in terms of it cost them, let's say, for example, $300. So over a certain period of time, they know after that point, they're now starting to make a profit because their cost has been brought back into the business. And then they would follow the patterns in terms of the rentals, and they would see that a particular video would start dropping off at a certain spot. Now, it makes sense. It makes business sense to take a video that's not performing and move it from the top shelf down into one of the middle shelves or into the back, so that you can create space for a new video that's coming in. Another psychological factor that you might experience, think about when you walk into a supermarket. Think about the first thing that you see. Now, I'm not sure if this is the kind of thing that you would experience where you live, but in South Africa, in London, in America, a lot of the supermarkets that you walk into, you would actually see fresh vegetables and fruit and produce as the first thing. Maybe the flower section is the first thing that you would walk in through. Psychologically, they did some research on this, and they had a look at it, and they said, well, if it's the first thing that you're going to be walking through, you are more likely to buy that now than if you went into the store, walked into the back to go and search for it. It's also a visual thing. It's something whereby your visual senses are saying to you, hey, that flower looks pretty, or hey, those fruits look nice. Yes, the taste buds might start to tingle, and you might say to yourself, okay, I want to purchase something. Now let's work that back into the spiritual business. If you don't have any products, if you don't position your products in the right way, if you don't market or cross-sell or give the information out in the right way, your taste buds, your senses, your need to want those products is not going to be there. For example, if you were running a training course, you had a particular message and you ran the training course, and you had all of your products standing at the back of the training room, and you only made your products available, let's say, at the end of the day. By the end of the day, everybody's really down, they're tired, they might be exhausted, they might need some rest. So therefore, people would not want to buy those products at that stage. If you put your products into the front of the training room at the beginning, it would be a lot better for you, because that would mean people are fresh, they are looking for more information, they'll buy the video or the book, and they'll take it home and they'll go watch it. Okay, so in the strategies that we're going to have a look at, I'm going to have a look at Universal Studios. And the reason why I want to have a look at Universal Studios, and specifically in the business club, is because Universal Studios makes use of a business model or a strategy which gets a lot of sales. We're talking about revenue from the movies, we're talking about revenue from advertising, we're talking about revenue from just walking through the Universal Studios lot. And it's the same kind of thing that you need to employ in your business strategies as a spiritual entrepreneur. You need to be able to give people that business card or the information, or be able to get them to access you. And it's not about giving them information there and then so that you make the sale. It's about exposure. It's about giving them the options. If you didn't have a product, then you would need to go out and find a product that you could sell for them. If you did not have a message, you would have two choices. Either you sell the message, or you get that message across, or you bring another expert in and you get that person to get their information across. So what we do in Russia is that we bring people who have a message, we bring them into Russia, and we get them to share their message. That's only part of the business that we do. Okay, so if I ask you a very quick question, I want to ask you exactly, what is your message? Do you have a message which is your own creation? Do you have a message which is somebody else's and you're trying to share that message with other people? Or do you not have a message at all? Also, when you look at the products or the services that you are selling, do you have a message or a concept? Do you have a product or a service or a training course? Maybe you have a combination of the above. Or do you have none of the above? Okay, so to help those people, if you are one of those people that sit out there and you don't have any products or services that you think are worthwhile for selling, this is one of the things that we're going to have a look at in the business strategies. We're going to have a look at product creation. We are going to have a look at teaching you or showing you some of the simple techniques which will help you speak better on a stage or speak better in a webinar. We will have a look at a various list of other things, maybe sales techniques, the management that you need for running a course, even outsourcing various tasks and things or activities that you might need so that you can focus on your business. So let me talk to you about energy, money, and the spiritual entrepreneur. Something, and I'm not exactly sure where this belief came from, but I run into this a lot of times where people are not comfortable with the value that they place on their service. As a person who provides a service to others, if you are doing a one-on-one service, a consultation, or a session with somebody, let's look at it in the sense of a training course would cost you $300, and you sell your time at $30 per hour. That would mean for you to be able to go on a training course which costs $300, you would need to spend 10 hours to actually get enough money together so that you can go and do that training course. As a person who delivers a spiritual message or a person who delivers a product or a service, would you want to be the person that does the business full-time, the spiritual work full-time, or would you want to be the person who is involved in a full-time job and then does something part-time? Now, I don't know about you, but I would much rather prefer going to a doctor who does his work full-time, or even a mechanic. Can you imagine what could happen to your car if you went to a part-time mechanic? And that guy, because of some reason, forgets to tighten a nut or a bolt somewhere, and your car crashes and you have a crash because of that. Now, I know I don't like selling with fear, but this is the reality of the situation. I would much rather prefer having somebody who is a full-time person in that job or that work than having somebody who's a part-timer. So let's get back to money. For you to be able to support yourself, for you to be able to do things, you need to have a system of income or a system of product or services pricing which allows you to do your job as a spiritual person full time. So that means instead of doing your consultation sessions at $30 per hour, maybe you should start considering doing that at $60 per hour or $55 per hour. And the reason behind it is very simple. It allows you, it frees you up to spend more time on doing some research or some more practical applications. It provides you the ability to do your job full time because it means that you don't have to go and do a part-time job to supplement your income. Okay, so one of the other things that we're going to be doing in this business club is we're going to be having a look at list building and the creation of a database. Now, the business club, which starts in the third week of February, is going to be costing around $95 for our English listeners. We do have Russian listeners and also Turkish listeners. So if you would like more information about that, I'm going to try and see if I can put it down onto the bottom of the screen. And I want you to send me an email at craig@thetaprinciple.com. That's CRAIG at thetaprinciple, THETAPRINPLE.com. So some of the other things. When we talk about outsourcing some of the stuff that you do on a daily basis, now, do you have an admin team that maybe look after marketing or look after your Facebook advertising or look after sending out leaflets or take telephone calls? I know of a particular business which is a very, very large business who are sitting in a position where they are kind of like blocked from growing because they rely on a particular person to do 90% of the work. You always have to have a look at strategies which allow your business to grow, which allow your business to be more productive and more effective. And if you have got one person who is a bottleneck or one person who is stopping the business from growing because they have to make all the decisions or they have to do everything in terms of signing off this document, creating that paper, looking at that advert, okaying that course, then you are in effect stopping your business from growing. And it's a strategy that you need to consider and you need to employ in a much better way. Okay, so let me have a quick look and see what are the other things that I wanted to share with you. We've gone about that. Okay, I want you to have a look at a piece of paper. Maybe grab a piece of paper. I'll give you a second or two to grab a piece of paper. I'm going to grab a piece of paper too. And then I want you to consider what I was talking about earlier on in terms of you as the business owner. And on the left-hand side of the paper, I want you to write down you as the business owner. Okay. Once you've written down you as the business owner, I want you to write down your client on the right-hand side. Your client or your clients. And of course, that's where you're going to go. The owner or the clients or the clients. Now, if you had products, you would put the products up at the top. And if you had services, you would put the services down at the bottom. In this model, what happens is that you are the person that's responsible for selling the products or the services to the client. So if you have a look at that. And what it does is it actually limits the amount of exposure that you have for your business. My wife's sitting in the background there making funny faces at me, so I'm struggling to concentrate. But what then happens is you need to have a look at a system whereby you are the owner of a business and you outsource certain things, and those tasks or things that you outsource allow you to get your products and your services to a greater audience. Okay, now in certain spiritual businesses, they run training courses, and these training courses allow you to train other people up. Okay, so if you have a look at the one down at the bottom, look at the owner, and of course what happens is because you're outsourcing, because you're giving somebody else those abilities or those skills, they can sell your products or your services. So let's think about this. In what we do in terms of our spiritual business in Russia, we have the ability to run individual one-on-one consultation sessions. So I might work with somebody and I might do work with them to resolve traumatic issues. I might do work with them to work on health problems, or I might do work with them to get rid of a negative belief or something to that effect. If I look at it and I look at the additional things that I want to do, if I only wanted to work with one person, then I'm starting to block myself. I'm starting to limit myself in terms of the exposure that I can do. The next thing that we do is we run training courses to teach people how to do the things that we do with others. So that means that instead of me having to work with somebody to get through that trauma or that emotional issue, or to work on the health issues, I can show somebody else exactly how to do the same thing. And then the third thing that we do is we bring the experts into the country to teach the teachers who will teach the people to go out there and do this thing. So now what we're talking about is a business strategy which takes it from one small little kernel and multiplies and gets that message across to many, many more people. At the same time, we will look at having CDs and books and pamphlets and additional training courses and additional products and services available for them, because it gives the people who come to those events, or the people who come into our business, it gives them the ability to improve themselves at a much bigger level. Right. So business strategies, business club. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a very, very short webinar. There are a few things that I would love to share with you. I will be arranging another webinar in probably the next 7 to 10 days, and I will share some more things with you. Send me that email if you want to come and join our Business Strategies Club. Remember, we are going to be focusing on business strategies that help you as a spiritual entrepreneur. For example, teaching you how to speak, teaching you how to get your message across. One little tip that I can give you straight away is when you are speaking and you want to create an impact, then you will tend to slow your words down and maybe drop your voice. And if you want to create excitement, you might just put some energy into the actual message, and you might get people to stand up or shout or give them a massage or something crazy. Those are two different ways of speaking. Those are two different ways of getting your message across. And this is the kind of stuff that I would love to share with you. My name is Craig. It is live from Los Angeles. You're probably going to be watching this at a later stage. So may you have a fantastic rest of the day. And my email address is craig@thetaprinciple.com. That's CRAIG at THETAPRINCIPLE.com. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll speak to you soon.